Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and you know, it seems like things just can't stay the same around here in the office for too long. Something always has to change layout-wise, and this is no exception. Used to, I had my Dell Optiplex 755 right here next to my main computer. I was using this as my Windows XP machine and my Linux machine. It was dual booted with XP and Ubuntu Mate. But I set up a new desktop in my bedroom last week, Dell Optiplex 790 that I bought at Goodwill the other week. Nice little machine, but unfortunately the latest version of Windows 10 no longer supports my Dell USB capture card, which is what I use for digitizing old VHS tapes. It's there's no longer drivers for it anymore, and that really annoyed me because I use that device quite a bit. So I had to KVM the Optiplex 790 with my Optiplex 755, which is running Windows 7, just so I can capture videotapes on that computer. I really do not have to do this. I feel like I should not have to do that. But Microsoft decided, you know what, we're not going to let you use your capture card anymore, so bye-bye. Anyway, I had to move that computer into my bedroom, and that left me without an XP/Linux machine in here. So, this is where this laptop comes into play. This is a laptop I bought for $10 about a month ago at Goodwill, at the Goodwill Computer Junction. This is a ThinkPad R61, a very popular ThinkPad from the mid to late 2000s. This is a Core 2 Duo era machine. This has a 1.8 gigahertz Core 2 Duo, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Now, I did own an R61 before. This was back in 2015, but it had some motherboard issues, so I wasn't really able to keep that. But thankfully, I've got another one now, and this one is proving to be a lot more reliable. Currently, this is running Ubuntu Mate only on here. But today, in this video, we're going to be dual booting it with Ubuntu Mate and Windows XP. So let's take a tour of this machine. We've got a FireWire port on the front, along with a wireless switch, headphone and microphone. On the right side here, we've got a DVD-RW drive. This originally was a DVD-ROM/CD-RW drive, but I had a spare ThinkPad DVD-RW drive lying around, so I just stuck it in there. One USB 2.0 port where I have a mouse connected to currently. A brand new battery I bought for this. Got the power jack on the back there. There's really nothing exciting over there. VGA, dial-up modem, Ethernet, which is connected right now. Two more USB 2.0 ports, along with some card slots there. And we'll open it up, and we get a 14-inch widescreen display at 1280 by 800. And a keyboard with the good old-fashioned ThinkPad keyboard. So yeah, let's set the tripod up and get to installing some OSs. Okay, I got my easy-to-boot USB drive plugged in. That's where I keep my OSs on for easy installation. Go ahead and turn it on. Try again. Sometimes the power button has to be pushed a certain way. Oh, there we go. Alright, I believe F12 is for the boot menu. Alright, Kingston Data Traveler. Okay, we're going to start by installing Windows XP first. So let's go to the Windows portion here. Install XP. I've got XP 7 and 10 on here. Okay, let's go with the unofficial Service Pack 4 Professional, which is number 4. Other ones are for Dells, and this is not a Dell. Now the nice thing about using this easy to boot drive for installing XP is that this automatically has AHCI drivers for Windows XP that it puts in here during installation, so you can actually run Windows XP through AHCI mode, and it runs a lot better than legacy mode, or whatever you want to call it. I've seen this screen so many times since I was a teenager, I suppose. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we have a fingerprint reader on this laptop. Not that I ever use it. Okay, it's seeing the first disk as the flash drive, but anyway, and it's seeing yeah, I've already got a NTFS partition on this hard drive just for data storage, and it's seeing that as the C drive, and I am very picky about what drive letter Windows is installed on. It has to be C, or otherwise I'm not happy. So let's delete these Linux partitions here. Yeah, I was afraid of that. It's still seeing the secondary partition as C. But I've got an idea. Let's close out of setup and reboot. It's always something, isn't it? Okay. What I want to do is load Windows XP setup into memory. That way it's not installing from the flash drive, and as soon as it starts loading setup, I can unplug this and it won't see that. Oh wait, or maybe not, I don't know, because it's the secondary partition on the hard drive we're concerned with. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, set up the HCI. Okay, it's going to load it into memory. Might take a little bit. Okay, now we need to unplug this. That way it won't see it, because it's now loaded into memory. But assuming this goes according to plan, we will have to plug it back in when we go to the GUI portion of setup. It still sees that C drive. It still sees the secondary partition as the C drive, and we can't let it do that. Let's just create a partition anyway and see what it... Yeah, it wants to set it as drive F, and I don't want to, and I refuse to have Windows on a drive other than C. Well, I don't know what to do right now. So let me do some off-camera troubleshooting. Okay, I've actually realized now that I'm going to have to delete this files partition anyway, because that's not going to, with that partition there, it's not going to give me enough room to have both XP and Linux on here. So unfortunately we're going to have to delete it, which I hate to do because that means I'm going to have to recopy my data again, but you got to do what you got to do. Okay, so now we can create a C partition. For XP, I think I'll just give it 40 gigabytes. How about that? Alright, just format it NTFS quick or else we'll be here all day. Now we can get somewhere. Alright, just going to copy all the files over, so I'll pause the video here. Okay, that didn't take too long. It's getting ready to reboot now, I believe. So, with that in mind, let's plug our flash drive back in because it's going to need it when it gets into the GUI portion of setup. Alright, here we go. Okay, yeah. It's needing the directory there. I'm not sure. And I don't know why there's no browse button. That is extremely annoying. And it's crashed. I really shouldn't have loaded it into memory during setup. Doubt we'll get far this time, but yeah. I think we may have to start completely over, folks, and that's not what I want to do, but when your computer decides to be a pain in the butt, sometimes you have no other choice than to just start all over and cry. Yeah, it's not happy. Okay, I just reinstalled XP. Oh, it's in there twice. Well, keep in mind I didn't format again, so I installed it on top of XP, so yeah, it might be a little bit cluttery, if that's even a word. But hopefully it should work. It looks like it is this time. I installed it just straight off the flash drive this time and not from memory. So it's we've gotten farther this time, so I will start recording again when something interesting happens. Okay, need some personal information here, so name, Billy Core, organization, and Nostalgia Mall. We'll call it ThinkPad R61-XP. Okay, it's set to Linux time right now, or Unix time I should say. It's actually 3:27 p.m. and this is the Eastern time zone. Okay, it might want to do a network setup because of the FireWire port on the front. It sees these as network controllers a lot of times, but not this time. Okay, this part's probably going to take a while, so I'll be back. Okay, booting into Windows XP, and that boot menu did come up again. What? I was afraid of that. We've got 2 instances of XP in one partition. I'm an idiot. So guess what we get to do for the third time today? Start all over again. I swear I've never had this much trouble with installing XP before. And admittedly, this is all my fault. Okay, this must be the 20th time we've done this today, but I think we finally got it. I think we're fixing to go into the out-of-box experience. And unfortunately, there's not going to be any audio, so we won't be able to hear the cool intro music. Yes, we'll do that. Billy. Oh, that was quick. That dialog box goes back many years. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it still comes up every now and then on Windows 10. And I forgot to mention it, but this is the first time I've run XP on this laptop. I ran Windows 7 on it for a short time after I got it, but I just discovered Linux was a little bit friendlier on this older hardware. And of course XP ought to run beautifully on here. Of course it's doesn't have the software support. I will tell that yes, because if we don't, we'll get a blue string of death. Alright. Okay, zoomed into the screen so you can see a little bit better. So let's get to installing some drivers. This is going to be done using Snappy Driver Installer, a program I highly recommend. It does great when you're when you have a bunch of drivers that you just can't find anywhere, and a lot of times this will find them. So we'll just copy it to the desktop. Now, why do I need to restart just for plugging in a flash drive? Okay, we'll use the 32-bit version here. Unblock. Oh, look at all that. Oh, you know, we might not get very far because we don't have a network driver installed. Yeah. I think I'll need to source that from Lenovo themselves. That's something I forgot to do, so I will do that off camera. Okay, I installed the Ethernet driver off camera. It was an Intel network card. And we'll just do indexes only for now. And it's going to download the index, which is 14.7 megabytes. Might take a minute. Okay, now we got a list of all the drivers we can install. And, oh, we got Bluetooth on here. That's convenient. So I guess we'll give it everything. Of course, a lot of times it likes to not extract properly on a lot of these, but we'll just do it anyway. Bunch of random chipset stuff here. I believe this is for video. Looks like we're missing the driver for the fingerprint reader. I may have to manually source that. Wait, that's the flash drive. We'll leave that alone. Okay, this will probably take a while because it's got to download them manually. So I will pause the video right here. Okay, Snappy Driver installed everything. It took almost like an hour to download everything, but they're there. And everything is now installed. I just got to reboot, but before I do that, I'm going to plug this flash drive back in because we need to install our fingerprint reader. I was able to obtain that offline. Okay. This is it. And there's some other stuff I need to install as well, but I'll probably do that off camera, like the on-screen display and the ThinkPad stuff. Alright, we'll go ahead and restart. Someday. And just try it again. Okay, looks like we've got full resolution now. That was a fingerprint thing. Doubt I'll ever use that, but it's there if I want it. Alright, audio works. Close out of that for now. Okay. Alright, looks like everything's accounted for in Device Manager. That is good. Alright, got Intel 965 graphics. ThinkPad modem, Ethernet and wireless, PCMCIA, SoundMax integrated digital HD audio, and chipset goodies and USB goodies. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. I'll install some more stuff off camera, but now, well, let's see if we can get Linux going on here. And This is the part of the video where I'm going to get a lot of criticisms. I just know it because Linux is a very controversial subject. If you do something that someone doesn't agree with, you will hear about it. And the version of Linux that we're going to be using is Ubuntu Mate. I believe it's 1804, I want to say. So we're going to use our easy to boot drive again, like we did for XP. Okay, this time we're going to go to the Linux menu. Alright, yeah, Ubuntu Mate 1804, we'll go with that. I'm trying to teach myself Linux because I feel it's kind of an important skill to have. And I know Ubuntu Mate isn't the most amazing distro in the world, but I gotta start somewhere, folks. And it's better than plain old Ubuntu anyway. Alright, that's pretty quick. Of course, you can just run the entire operating system off the flash drive if you are so inclined, but we're actually going to install it. Alright, keyboard layout is okay. Install third-party software. Eventually, maybe I'll run Linux on my main machine. I would like to do that someday, but right now I don't have enough experience with it to dive headfirst into it like that. And I know all the stuff I'm saying will get a lot of hate. Okay, install Ubuntu Mate alongside Windows XP Professional. Okay, we actually want to do something else. Okay, let me do a little bit of research on this right now. Okay, I got some advice from my good friend Elmo3, who is my personal Linux consultant, and he suggested that I install Ubuntu Mate alongside Windows XP, like it says right here, and then reinstall Linux and select the something else option. I guess that'll work. I'll take his word for it. He's the expert, so. Alright. Because what I'm wanting to do is I still want to have space left over for a data partition. Okay, my name is Billy. We'll name the computer ThinkPad R61-Linux. And I'll put in my password. Okay, this is the part where it's going to copy everything over, so we'll see you on the other side. Okay, Elmo3 gave me even more advice. He suggested as soon as the Linux install starts, cancel it, restart, and then start installing again and just adjust the partition table accordingly. So we're going to restart once the menu bar comes up, which it may not actually, as it died. Okay, here we go. Let's boot back into our flash drive. Alright, Linux, Ubuntu Mate, no. Quit teasing me. Okay, here we go. Alright, install Ubuntu Mate. Eventually. Alright, English US. Install third party. I might have to refer back to Elmo 3 in a minute. Alright, let's go to something else, I think. Alright, Luke was able to get me sorted out here. I've got a 40 gig partition for Linux as ext4 journaled. So we'll go ahead and install now. Wait, no root file system is defined. Okay, let me check on that. Okay, I just had to just right click that and hit and select the mount point there, and I believe that should do it. Alright. Alright, time zone is right. Alright, do this again. Okay, we're doing it for real this time, so I'll go ahead and pause the tape and we'll see you on the other side. Alright, looks like we're done. So we'll go ahead and restart now. Okay, any day now. Unplug this. Hopefully we're done with this drive for the day. Alright, we should be in the grub boot menu anytime now. Yep. We got Ubuntu and Windows XP. We'll just go into Ubuntu for now. I would show myself installing my programs on each operating system, but this video's gone on long enough. I'll do an update video sometime soon. showing what all I've got installed on here once all is said and done. And yes, I know I'm not using the right Linux distro, and I didn't install it the right way. Like I said, Linux is a very controversial subject. Okay, there we go. Ubuntu seems to be working just fine, so let's reboot and see if XP still works, because I need to go in there and create my data partition. And yes, I'll be using a Linux with an NTFS data partition, but that's only because I want it to be seen in both Linux and Windows. Scroll down to the bottom, Windows XP Professional. Alright, looks good. One thing I hope to do with this laptop, I'm going to try to keep it here most of the time, so when I'm here on my main computer I can have something playing videos or DVDs or whatnot. And of course, since we were in Linux a while ago, it reset the clock to Unix time, so Windows thinks it's 10 p.m. when it's actually 6 p.m. But Windows seems to be working just fine, so let's go into disk management and make ourselves a partition. We got Windows there, Linux there, and let's make our data partition. Assign it drive E. We'll label it files. I'll probably leave it running all night, transferring data over to it. So, did it take? Yes, it did. And there it is, 389 gigabytes. And yes, I do have Windows updates on here. This has the this unofficial service pack 4 has the registry hack on here, which allows me to get updates for Windows POS Ready 2009 up until next year. So after next year, well, we'll just see what happens. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll go ahead and end things here. This is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like. The link to all of these are down below. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.